Shelter is ranked second in the hierarchy of human needs, being the most important after food in the order of importance for survival. Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa and the 8th most populous country in the world, is facing serious housing challenge. This as evident in the available statistics indicating that 87% of the total population of households in the country live in rented apartments, while specifically in Lagos, 60% of the residents are tenants, leaving housing demand to an estimated figure of approximately 2.17 million annually. Most of the existing accommodation units are provided by private investors, and tenants have to pay as high as 50 to 70% of their monthly income. Welcome to another informative episode of Housing Development, your go-to source for housing trending information. I am Flora Ani, your housing diva. The news headline is up next.
The governor of Zamfara State, Bello Matawalle, has flagged off the construction of 10,000 housing units for internally displaced persons in the state. The projects, according to him, will be financed by Omnifrontier International Investment Limited, OMFI, a private placement lending facilitator that specializes in raising capital for private companies, governments and banking institutions in emerging markets. Speaking at the official inauguration of the project in Maradun Town, Governor Matawalle, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Bala Maru, appreciated the effort of OMFI for providing funds for the project. He said the project will add value to the state, not only in addressing housing challenges, but also in the provision of shelter to vulnerable persons. The former president of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDEN, Reverend Ugochukwu Chime, has charged Nigerian governors to adopt the mortgage foreclosure bill being proposed by Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company, which has also in recent times been supported by the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers alongside Housing Development Advocacy Network. Chime, who stated this while featuring on housing development on TVC, stressed the need for the country to evolve to the global realm of owning homes through mortgage practice. According to him, this is imperative in order for the government to adequately provide for housing, employment, socio-economic growth, as well as create multiplying effects in the local economy, where the properties gotten through mortgage are cited. The three ruling All Progressive Congress senators from Lagos State have appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to name the Gwarinpa Estate in the Federal Capital Territory after the former Minister of Works and Housing, Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakonde. The senators who raised a point of order presented on their behalf by Senator representing Lagos West Senatorial District Olamilekan Adeola at Wednesday plenary noted that Jakonde, as Minister of Works and Housing during the late General Sani Abacha administration, conceptualized the construction of the estate, considered to be the biggest in West Africa, and as such was worthy of the honor. Dr. Kema Onu, FCT coordinator, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, has said in a recent interview that poor housing system that allows overcrowding of human beings sharing very congested spaces as houses has remained one of the greatest causes of the spread of tuberculosis. According to Onu, stopping tuberculosis goes beyond the ordinary healthcare system alone, but could also be arrested from the public housing system. He advocated that people should live spaciously in well-planned houses instead of shanties or squalors, so as to prevent the full spread of the killer disease. Meanwhile, the organizers of the largest housing conference and exhibition, Abuja International Housing and Construction Show Limited, have announced that the 15th edition of the international event will hold as from 26th to 29th of July 2021 at the International Conference Center, Abuja. Announcing this development in Abuja, the CEO of the International Housing and Construction Show, Mr. Festus Adebayo, said that this year's event will be unique and hybrid, that is, will involve both virtual and physical. He said the experience of the 14th edition, which was done virtually, will be a big asset to the organizers, involving all participants around the world. He said there would be a physical conference alongside a physical exhibition. He said already not less than 20 organizations have indicated interest to sponsor the 15th edition of the program. The event, which has been regarded as the largest in Africa, has paraded several governors, ministers, commissioners, and the vice president.
I'm Debbie Erb. I work for OPIC in the United States and keep watching the Affordable Housing Development Program.
Welcome back. Those are major headlines making rounds in the housing sector. For more, visit www.africanhousingnews.com. When it comes to the success of any project, quality control impacts all phases of the construction process. This is one major aspect that is very important. It involves strict compliance with established standards. It defines the type of measures and control to be carried out to ensure proper construction. But when this is neglected in a building project, what is the effect?
Quality control and safety represent increasingly important concerns for project managers. Defects or failures in constructed facilities can result in very large costs. One common challenge of Nigeria's construction industry is poor quality control. Projects embarked on are often poorly executed in terms of quality assurance. There are a number of reasons for this prevailing challenge, according to engineer Kashim Ali. He says poor quality control is as a result of miserliness in application of equipment and materials.
Most of it generally is miserliness in application of equipment and materials. What do I mean? If, for instance, a design was made to have a certain quantity of components of concrete, and then you decide on site to reduce the quantities in order to maybe to maximize profit, or out of carelessness, or for any other reason, that instantly reduces the quality. The character of that concrete changes. What you get is not what the designer intended.
Poor quality control can also be blamed on the control engineer at the construction site. Engineer Kashim adds that the resultant effects of poor quality control can be glaring even in the aesthetic presentation of projects, the most tragic being the collapse of structures.
And the resultant effects are very obvious and glaring, but the common one that people see easily is maybe even the aesthetic presentation of projects. Construction projects, which mainly are civil engineering projects, they are not only supposed to be structurally acceptable, they are supposed to be aesthetically appealing. So if you are supposed to have a square and you have something that is not easy to define in terms of symmetry, that's one obvious thing you see. For instance, there's supposed to be a column for a building. It's a structural engineering element that is supposed to stand straight and is now a bit curved. It shows the work was not properly done. The quality control was poor. But the most tragic one is the one that leads to collapse of such structures whatever the structure may be. It could be a water tank, it could be a road, it could be a dam, it could be a building, a high-rise building. That becomes very obvious. Those are the key elements you see where poor monitoring has been done.
As to the way forward, he advises those who procure the services of construction experts to hire professionals, as those responsible for collapse of structures are quacks.
What we have seen over the years is people using people who are not qualified. So my advice there to engineers would be, please, let's make ourselves maybe a lot more marketable so that clients can look for us instead of looking for quacks who bring them disasters and unhappiness.
With the right professionals and workforce in a construction site, professionalism will be applied in handling projects and quality control will be ensured.
I am Senator Aliyu M. Wamakos. The affordable housing for all and sundry is a must, and we are there for it. Please keep watching housing development programs nationwide.
You're watching Housing Development. Engineer Kashim Ali speaking on the importance of good quality control in building construction. How do you ensure good construction quality control? The following tips will help. Take a listen.
How to ensure construction quality control. 1. Start with the right workers. When starting your project, make sure you have the most qualified players on your teams. Assign the right people to the right jobs and ensure your supervisors or foremen are clear on the quality expectations. Give them authority to manage their crews as needed to adhere to those expectations. Ensure that the construction team understands the project quality requirements. 2. Use the right materials. Once you have your contract and understand what your customer expects, make sure you don't compromise on materials. Check that all materials incorporated into the structures and buildings meet the quality requirements and the project specifications. Ensure that you order materials of the correct specifications. Also check the materials when they arrive to ensure that they aren't damaged and that they are of the correct specification. Reject items which are damaged or aren't correct and advise the supplier immediately. Then mark the items clearly as being non-compliant so they aren't accidentally used. 3. Ensure safety and compliance. Not only do proper safety and compliance policies keep your workers safe, but they prevent inadequate work or improper work from being done on your project. For example, a tired worker is more likely to take a shortcut here and there or even forget something entirely. So use a reliable time tracking method to ensure they take the required breaks and don't do too much overtime. 4. Protect completed work. It's the bane of a contractor's existence. Weather. But things happen and we can't control it. Even careless subcontractors can cause damage to finished surfaces. Where possible, surfaces that can easily be scratched or damaged should be covered by timber, cardboard, or other materials until the work is complete. Some products arrive in plastic wrappings, and these wrappings should be left in place until the section is ready for handover. 5. Audit and test. From time to time, tests must be done as part of the contractor's quality management plan or as part of the project's or the client's quality management plan. These tests are to ensure that items or structures have been constructed correctly. Sometimes tests fail. This means that the work must be redone. 6. Repair deficiencies immediately. As mentioned with testing and auditing, make sure you have a concrete policy to address deficiencies, whether it be level of craftsmanship or inadequate materials. If left too long, deficiencies will become ignored and result in more work later on.
I am Dr. Sam Regu, Senate Committee Chairman on Housing. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
Timberlock Wood Preservative has deep penetration on wood that makes the wood well protected, ageless, and reusable. Timberlock has a superior recognition on wood preservation. It is user-friendly and easy to apply. Each drop of Timberlock Wood Preservative, properly applied on any wood, will keep termites and other wood insects gone forever. Timberlock Wood Preservative, the wood preservative brand leader in Africa.
Keep a date with Housing Development Program every week on TVC. Housing Development is the first and pioneer housing program in Nigeria and by extension Africa. It remains the authentic voice of the Nigerian housing and construction industry. Housing Development is the only credible and specialized platform for seasoned professionals in the build industry, where quality and credible players in the real estate sector meet to interact, showcase, and analyze government policies. It is no doubt that hundreds of thousands of prospective Nigerians who desire to own their personal properties have done so through the assistance of Housing Development Program in the last 10 years. If you are a stakeholder in the build industry, here is where you must be. We are authentic, credible, and supported by all the leading professionals in the build industry. Housing Development on TVC.
A warm welcome back. You're watching Housing Development. Rented apartment, as we all know, is the first home away from home to many Nigerians. The relationship between landlords and tenants is usually not on equal footing, and the disparity in power is exposed when there are disputes. Landlords have the power to agree to resolve them, while tenants can merely ask. Now, what attitude from a landlord will make a tenant pack out from a rented apartment? Let's find out from Voices on the Street.
I maintain a very cordial relationship with him. He's a very friendly and relative landlord. A lot of factors can make me leave, yes, because imagine having a landlord that does not maintain your compound and the facilities therein. And imagine having a landlord that checkmates your movements and limits your activities in the compound. You get these factors will really make me pack out.
Well, we're good. We're good. Depending on the person's personality, in the sense that he doesn't collate with yours. And if you're having a hard time, basically, I can't really fix on like a particular problem because I've not been under that kind of circumstance before that I have issues with my landlord.
The relationship is perfect, it's okay. So we are managing each other. And the most important thing is that once you are a landlord, if your ends of living is all depending on the house that you build, maybe you don't have any other job that you are doing. All what you depend is your tenant to make payment, be it annually or monthly. So some landlord like that, if you have any apartment with such landlord, you must have one issue or the other.
I just speak to him through phone, just for verbal conversation. Then the other person who is more stationary is the caretaker, who is always around. There are so many reasons that will make one want to evict a house, especially when the things you were told are available before you moved into the apartment and you walk in and it's not there. Like they tell you water is okay, you have constant light, security, all that things. And when you come in, you see that you barely have lights. And that is the essential thing everyone needs. Then water. So, you know, water you can buy from the local vendors around, but lights, you can't keep running generators. So light, water, especially when you emphatically told them you needed those facilities and you were told that it's available, only for you to be disappointed that those items are not there. So to make you want to leave the house.
If you ask me for rent before my rent due, I will decide to pack out. Yeah. But when my rent is due, I pay my rent.
My name is Robert Hornsby with American Home Builders of West Africa. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
There is so much more to being a landlord than collecting rent. At the end of the day, you want your tenant to take care of your place as if it were their own, which is why maintaining a good relationship with your tenants is very crucial. I'll be back shortly.
Thank Abuja Housing Show for giving us this opportunity, and we are so pleased to interact with the people in the audience here. They are showing a lot of interest and curiosity. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
The show here in Abuja is phenomenal. It's a great experience, and definitely we have some great exposure. Everyone here has obviously got some great things to offer, and visit us at our stand because we have some great offers for you in Dubai.
This is our second time of attending this show. The first time was last year, and it was a very successful show, and that's why we have decided to come back again this year. And from what we've been able to notice, we know that even the show is even growing better and better. And apart from that, this show allows you the opportunity to meet with so many people in the built industry. And what it does again is it exposes your product to people that are ready to embrace change or embrace new technology when it comes to building projects and stuff like that.
It's been wonderful. It's an avenue to meet a lot of people across the industry. So it has really actually been a great innovation on the part of the organizers.
The CEO of the Abuja Housing Show is a great guy. He's a fine gentleman, very innovative. He started this quite small, and progressively he's transformed the vision into a global brand. This event is now a global brand. It's gone beyond Nigeria, it's gone beyond Africa. People coming from North America, South America, Europe, Asia, African countries have made it their home exhibition. It is the benchmark for housing shows in Africa, and maybe I should say globally.
Been following the organizers very keenly, and we can say that they have been growing from one level to another. In fact, this year's one is superb, and we can say really that Abuja Housing has come to stay, and we hope that we'll now be going from one country to another exhibiting. We say kudos to the organizers.
That is it on today's episode of Housing Development. Thanks for watching. I remain Flora Ani, your housing diva. Do have a fabulous weekend and stay safe out there.